You mastered Facebook. So let's talk about Facebook for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
How and what is mastering Facebook? So tell me a little bit about your best growth tactics when it comes to Facebook. Can every single type of business use Facebook? A lot of people talk about, hey, well, I'm on LinkedIn. Like my audience is B2B. Like, can I really get them on Facebook? I more Google, etc. So can everybody do Facebook? Number one. And number two, how do I think about Facebook if I want to make it successful?
Sure. Everybody can do Facebook, but not everybody should do Facebook.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's big enough, but I actually look at it more from a compliance perspective. There are just some that is just too hard. You can't, your hands are handcuffed so much due to compliance issues that you just can't really get across the message properly and I think have everything work for you the way it should.
Okay.
But there were and there were a few B2Bs that, we've tried and it just didn't work out as well as LinkedIn. It's because it just didn't, but were the people there? Yes. But it just wasn't the right messaging, in terms of that. So but I would always try it. I always try Facebook first, as long as you're not doing like CBD and or dating or just like some other areas are just very, very challenging to do from a compliance perspective. So the reason for that is just no matter how much we love and hate it, because I do, and I think a lot of people do, they're still really, really, really good at finding the people that you want. If you ask for leads, it finds you leads. If you ask for purchasers, it really tries to find you people who will purchase. And you can still get it a lot faster than, at least in my experience, when I've also run Google ads as well. So I just feel like I can do a lot faster testing on it. Where I have found it really helpful for me to grow on Facebook is, at first I would chase different tactics and different formulas and just try and follow them. But what I realized was I just really had to understand what was happening, how it actually worked.
Before you keep diving, when you say chasing different tactics, do you mean in this case, should it be a webinar funnel or should it be a book funnel or should it be a tripwire funnel? And like, is that what you mean in terms of tactics?
Even more granular, like doing the, run the ad. Like, here's one, right? Run the ad to an international audience, get all the engagement up there, then take that ad and put it in your conversion campaign. And in theory, it should be better because you've got all these like engagement, even though it's from countries and people that you don't even want.
Right.
For example, right? That's just one tactic.
Right. So playing the algorithm in a sense, or trying to find ways.
Yeah. So I chase all of those and they all work. Let's just put it out there. Everything works. It just depends. Will it work for you? Will it work fast enough for you? Will it get you the, cost per lead or cost per acquisition that you want? So what I figured out was the more I could sort of read, first of all, read actually what they have in their documentation. They actually do tell us a lot in their documentation. Nobody just bothers to read it. So, actually read it and try and better understand how it works, especially now that, Meta and Google and all these other platforms are leaning more and more towards AI. It's even more important for us to understand, like, what are they willing to share with us so that we know, okay, like I can set things up in a way that they want, but then I also have the wisdom to know when I want to change things, because I have a better idea of why things are happening. So one example is realizing that because they shared, we don't have time to go into the whole formula, but I was at an event where they actually shared, here's at a high level our formula for how we value the ads, realizing that even though it looks like they've taken away a lot of our options, like our buttons to push, they actually haven't. And in fact, the targeting, which is what most people complain about, is actually shifted very heavily over onto the creative, onto the copy, onto the videos and images that you use. That's how we can send signals to Facebook about who we want to target, like who we want to buy from us.
Right.
And to me, that's great news because I can control that. I can't control any of the other stuff. But just understanding that, as an example, I stopped chasing, I have to find like the perfect interest to put in Facebook. It doesn't work as well anymore. And so then now I'm using the creative to send signals to Facebook about, okay, like, do we want moms? Do we want dads? Do we want senior citizens? Do we want people who love Pomeranians? Like, what do we want? Beekeepers? What do we want, right? Having that over there. And then also knowing when to and how to change it when you get stuck in, a bad section of the audience. I can now use the creative to send a signal to Facebook to say, hey, like, look over here. So it's just really shifted. And now I know how to send the right signals to it, just as an example.
Interesting. Okay. And when you learn that process, like, just so I'm fully with you, so you now have kind of understood and understand how to leverage the creative more effectively.
Yep.
But there's got to be things that work better on Facebook than on Google, for example, or work differently. So, like, for example, we all know that Google is intent and it's based on a search, a keyword, and we're looking for somebody who's already in that mindset of researching for something. Versus Facebook is completely different. Versus even LinkedIn, we're talking about, well, they're already in that kind of business mindset when they're on LinkedIn. So is there any specific approach that you have when you're sitting here and you're saying, okay, I'm going to come up with the Facebook campaign? So let's give an example. Funnelytics, right? We've got a software, okay, typical SaaS free trial. Do you sit there and say, free trials won't really work on Facebook? Instead, we should think about it this way. And if so, what is that this way?
Sure. That's a great question. The first thing I'm always looking at is I want to be able to fulfill your business objectives. At the end of the day, we want more people to sign up for Funnelytics, however they get through whatever funnel they're kind of going through, right? So I'm trying to think, how can we get the best quality person to, I'm assuming, get on a demo or a phone call or something like that, so that your team can then take them to the next level. A free trial may work. In my experience, again, I love lead gen, but what can sometimes happen with lead gen is not everybody has a strong back end to take these leads and turn them into the type of quality people that they need to get on a call. So I start to think, okay, what else can we do? Right? Like, yes, we can run some leads. That's great. That's always good. I would take a look at how your back end was to see, can we actually turn them into or get them to believe what they need to believe to get to the next level? So then I would layer on top of that, because again, I've seen this happen, is that you do tend to get better quality people when you run a purchase objective campaign. So I do encourage people to come up with some type of micro offer so that we can run a purchase conversion campaign as well to try and get higher quality people into the funnel, whether it's like a $5, $25, whatever thing, because that in theory should get you a higher quality person and get you faster. That's just what I would try at first. I have in the past done lead gen where it was just all straight leads, but the person was really, really, really good with their VSL, with their follow-up, with their back end. So they were able to close quite a lot of the people that we sent through. But that's how my mind goes, is I'm thinking more about how can I use what I know about the platform to use your budget most effectively, which I think would be to get quality people, the people has people who are as close to believing what they need to believe, so that your team has an easier job when they talk to them to show them Funnelytics and just, and then can close more of them.